Hello everyone and welcome to a very nice game from the final round basically it's the final game of the champions bracket of the American Cup 2024. Wesley versus Levon Aronian. Both of them have defeated many strong players to get to where they are here, and like I said, this is the fourth game they are playing. First three games ended in a draw, and this one could end maybe in something other than a draw. Now, as in the other games, a classical game was played in the first two games, then two games of rapid will occur, and if those two end in a draw as well, then they go on to the blitz. So let's check it out. Levon already defeated Samuel Sevian and Fabiano Caruana, getting into the finals, and Wesley had a bit of a rocky way up to the finals, as he did lose to Ray Robson, but then he bounced back, and now he faces Levon here. So Wesley with the white pieces opens with pawn to d4. Knight to f6, we have pawn to c4, e6, knight to c3, and bishop to b4. So just a standard Nimzo-Indian defense, but very quickly we will reach the position from the thumbnail, and I'm sure you guys are wondering, how do we get to that position from here? I mean, it doesn't look very likely. But there's castles, we have pawn to e4 and pawn to c5, challenging the center here. E5, we have D captures, C captures on D4, E captures on F6, but not really. Pawn to A3 first, and after bishop to A5, only now E captures on F6. We have D captures on C3, and now pawn to B4, only move that allows white to claim some sort of an opening advantage, B4, and now bishop to C7. There's even a game in the database where queen captures on F6 was played, trying to sacrifice a piece for this pass pawn on C3, but it's not really a real compensation. Well, it was attempted in a game between two grandmasters, but it wasn't enough to do any damage. So after b4, bishop back to c7, and now there is a game where queen captures on c3 was played. Also bishop to d3 is a known move, but here we have f captures on g7, and it is now as of move 10 that we have a completely new game, and we have reached the position from the thumbnail. So okay, the rook is hanging, and while you could capture it, then queen captures on c3 comes with check. You open up this diagonal, and it doesn't look like something you really want to do. So rook to e8 was played, and now knight to f3. Just nicely continuing development. Pawn to d5, and queen captures on c3. And both players were playing fairly quickly, but Levon just played much faster here. He's 16 minutes on the clock, whereas Wesley is already down to 12 minutes on the clock. And here we have this very strong pawn to e5 move, just trying to get that pawn rolling down the board, as the white king is still on e1. So c captures on d5, but Levon just continues pushing pawn to e4, and this is probably what he meant by that we all analyze these suspicious lines, but most top players aren't crazy enough to play them. That's where I come in. And yeah, he said that he was playing exclusively crazy chess this tournament, and it went very well for him, because up to this point in the tournament, he did not lose a single game. So let's see what happens here. Knight to d4, we have bishop to e5 now, not allowing the knight to move, and bishop to b2. Now, this is a beautiful battery that you would want to have in any game, but with the bishop on e5, just not as potent. So knight to d7, continuing development, we have bishop to b5, pinning the knight, and now pawn to a6, and bishop captures on d7. You could also keep the the bishop on the board, but it does seem that knight will become a more powerful piece, and the bishop maybe not having all that much to do. However, the bishop belongs on a4 and then on b3 most definitely. But Wesley captured on d7, we have bishop captures on d7, and here Wesley castled, and now Levon played queen to h4. Which is sort of a missed opportunity, but he played the move fairly quickly. He spent, I think, maybe around a minute on this move, but the move that he really should play is bishop to b5. It doesn't look like much, but of course knight captures is impossible, and it will help him mount a much stronger attack. For example, rook f to d1 if you don't want to give up the exchange. Then the queen moves, then this rook can come to d8, put pressure on the d5 pawn. The bishop can also come to d3. Nothing white can do to really prevent that. You can also go to a4 if you want. So it's a very strong position for black. But okay, queen to h4 was played. Notice that they've already played quite a lot of chess. This is the fourth game in the match. G3, you have to stop checkmate here. So G3, queen to H3, and now pawn to F4. Pawn to f4 because you really don't want to see bishop to g4 followed by bishop to f3. Again, the knight can't really move. So pawn to f4, and now bishop back to f6. The problem with capturing en passant is that, okay, well, you do eliminate some pawns in front of the white king. You also allow the pieces to come alive already. Queen captures on f7 is the threat of checkmate. And if you defend the rook at1 and you've mobilized all of white's pieces for basically nothing, or rather for a lost position for you. So after f4, bishop back to f6, and now queen to e3, getting off of the pin, and now bishop to g4. Again, trying to get that bishop all the way to f3. So rook f2, and now rook 8 to d8. And all of Levon's pieces have now been mobilized, and it's time for Wesley to just get that rook from a1 into the game. But first he goes knight to b3. He offers a trade of dark square bishops, and also a pawn on d5, which Levon captures. Rook captures on d5, and now rook to e1 to get his pieces fully developed. With bishop captures on b2, rook captures on b2, and queen to h6. We have rook to d2, now offering a trade of rooks, and queen to d6. We have rook captures on d5, trading off a pair of rooks, queen captures, and now knight to d2. We have bishop to f5, and now knight to f1. You kind of have to play bishop to f5 to defend the pawn here, because as long as it's attacked twice, you're not going to be able to move the rook or the queen. So here bishop to f5, preparing to move the rook, knight to f1, and now bishop back to h3. We have a repetition, knight to d2, but Levon does not want to repeat. He just goes rook to e6. And notice that he never wants to really capture on g7. It protects him from the white queen, and if of course Wesley ever gives a check with the rook or something, then he will capture. So here rook to c1, and only now king captures on g7. Well, it could be dangerous, leaving the pawn alive at the moment. Rook to c5, attacking the black queen, and now comes queen to d3, offering a queen trade. Rook to g5 with check, king to f8, and now comes a move that, well, might not be the best. Here just king to f2, defending the white queen, or even queen captures on d3 is are the only two moves. However, queen to c5 check is what Wesley played, and it is in fact the third move recommended by the engine, but it is the one also that loses the game. However, it is not perhaps clear why, because you could block quite a few ways, or you could maybe move the king. So feel free to pause the video and try to find the only move that wins the game for Levon while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding this very tricky solution. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is king. No, it's not. It's rook to d6. I'm just joking. Sorry about that. The interface seemed to have lagged a little bit. Yeah, rook to d6 is the move that wins, and the reason is there's no way to check the king with the rook. There's no way to check the king with the queen, as the bishop covers the c8 square, and probably what Wesley missed, because if it was possible to give this check, you can still fight. However, there's just no move. The knight here is hanging, and well, in the game rook to h5 was played just attacking the bishop, but you really can't even move the knight. If we move the knight, queen to f1 is just checkmate. So Wesley did the only thing he could. He traded pieces, and now queen captures on d2, rook captures on h3, and here Levon just, well, he could play anything really like e3, but he just played b6, and he finished in great style. And it was in this position on move 36 that Wesley so resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. The problem is the b6 pawn, he wasn't afraid of losing a pawn or anything like that. He just wants the b6 pawn to cover the c5 square. That means that after queen to c8 check and you block with the rook, you can play queen back to c5 with check, and you really have nothing if you don't have that. I mean, the rook on h3 is really useless. So what could happen is something like queen to c8 check, rook to d8, and now you move the queen somewhere, but it really doesn't matter, because now you get checkmated. Queen e3 check, king g2, queen f3 check, king to g1, rook to d1 with check, let's say queen to f1, and now queen or rook captures on f1 with checkmate. So brilliantly done by Levon with the black pieces, taking down Wesley. So as you know, he was once a official random world champion. So you know, if you play crazy chess against him, chances are he will beat you, but not for Levon Aronian. He doesn't mind. And yeah, with this victory, Levon wins the American Cup. He also wins $90,000 for first prize, and also a $50,000 bonus for winning the champions bracket. And also he wins this, as I understand it, it's a Mongolian chess set, plus some sort of a bracelet here. I don't know. To me, it's looks a bit too much, but okay. Someone wrote that Levon was admiring it before the tournament started. So if he likes it, I am very happy for Levon. So yeah, that's the game and a little bit of extra info. Hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, Levon never backs down. He always plays the craziest lines. He always goes bold where no man has gone before, and well, more often than not, emerges victorious. So yeah, once again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, big congratulations to Levon on winning this. I would like to thank John Tardif, Alexander Aldridge, Happy Nerus from Dustin and Mozeri, Juha Samuel of Askainen, and Joyful Chess Lover for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check two of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check upon your wonderful suggestions, such as this one, and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.